Yo, what's good YouTube? It's Pablo and welcome back to the channel. I'm bringing you guys a very quick video taking a look at the rest of season outlook for the Steelers running back James Conner, now that the reports have surfaced that Lev Bell is unlikely to return to the team on Tuesday, which will make him ineligible to play the rest of the 2018 season. Now, this is a report that came out Saturday by Adam Schefter, and James Conner owners have been rejoicing ever since, rightfully so. Conner has been on a tear ever since taking over the workhorse role for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that is a position that pays dividends. If you are a running back for the Steelers, you're going to be the workhorse. You're going to get a ton of carries, but we're going to take a quick look at what he's going to do for the rest of the season. There's a ton of upside in the championship and playoff weeks, so that gives him some legitimate league winner potential. So let's dive right in. So first, we're going to take a quick look at the latest on this Le'Veon Bell situation and how we got to this point. You guys know he's been holding out all year, but most recently we're going back to Thursday night's game versus the Carolina Panthers. Now, Le'Veon put out a very cryptic tweet. I'm going to show it here. It says, "I think it's safe to say it's time to pass the sticks." Now, there was some speculation out on that tweet whether or not he meant pass the sticks to Conner or pass the sticks back to him, as he's going to return back to the team on Tuesday. I'm leaning more toward the former, thinking that he's going to pass the sticks to Conner, because at that point where he tweeted that, Conner was playing very well in the game versus the Carolina Panthers. So I tend to think that he meant that he's going to pass the torch to James Conner for the rest of the season, which would be good news. But I'm saying all that to say the situation could change by the time this is uploaded or that you're viewing it. We're going to take a quick look also at how James Conner would finish if Le'Veon Bell comes back. But if he did mean passing the sticks to James Conner, what can we expect? Well, throughout 10 weeks and 9 games, Conner has racked up 771 rush yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 39 receptions, 387 receiving yards, and a receiving touchdowns. So those numbers are self-explanatory. He's been an RB1 all season, and I don't think that's going to change going forward. There's a lot to really be excited about if you're a James Conner owner, but what I really like is the receptions and the targets. So by design, if you're a Steelers running back, you're going to get looks in the passing game. Right now, he's averaging about 6.25 targets per game. So that's over 6 targets a game, excluding last week where he got hurt, so that production was skewed a little bit. He's been able to convert those targets to receptions, so Conner will be an even better play in PPR. So barring a drastic game plan change by the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think James Conner is going to finish the season right where he ended up, and that will be as an RB1. But one thing that you would want to look out for if you're a Conner owner is the Steelers pacing him or resting him. You saw that a little bit on Thursday night. We don't know how it's going to be managed going forward, if they're going to pace him. So stay tuned for that. I wouldn't scoff at the possibility of them sitting him for halves or quarters when they're up. So definitely be mindful of that when you're plugging him into your lineup. I would definitely keep an eye out for any reports of him being rested or paced for a particular week. So definitely look out for those sorts of things if you're plugging Conner into your lineup. But before we close this video out, we're going to go into his matchups in weeks 14, 15, and 16. Those are playoffs and championship weeks for a lot of leagues. So just for a second, we're going to take a look at James Conner's league winner potential. You guys have seen a lot of players do it. LaShawn McCoy, Todd Gurley. A lot of players have been that one piece that just carried their owners to fantasy championships, and I think James Conner could be that piece. So starting in week 14, they play the Oakland Raiders, and you guys know that team is tanking right now. I believe John Gruden knows exactly what he's doing. He's tanking right now to try to get those pieces and the pieces that he does like. So you will not see a lot of effort on defense from this team. You guys have seen a lot of different fantasy running backs go off versus this team. You guys have seen Marlon Mack go off versus this team. You guys have seen Melvin Gordon go off versus the team. And I think you'll see the same with James Conner there in week 14. And then also he'll get those receptions. Like I said earlier, he's averaging over 6 targets per game. And then in week 15, he faces the New England Patriots. So that is a defense that isn't scaring anybody right now. If you watched NFL this past Sunday, you saw the Tennessee Titans run all over the New England Patriots. And I think that heads and shoulders, the Steelers' play calling and their schemes and talent is a lot better than the Titans. So if they take that recipe, they definitely could run all over the New England Patriots, and it could be a very big day for James Conner if you're in the playoffs that week. And then finally in week 16, which is championship week for a lot of leagues, he plays New Orleans. So this is a very juicy matchup. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. We're probably looking at least a 55-point over under. So you definitely want to get in on that. You'll be starting James Conner if you have him, and I think you'll profit there. So those three matchups are very good. I haven't named, a tough defense or a scary defense that will be able to stop him. I'm not naming defenses like the Vikings or the Rams. These are defenses that James Conner could go off on. So plug him into your lineup. I think James Conner will be a league winner. You guys be the judge. Plug him in if you were lucky enough to snag James Conner, and I'll say a prayer for you if you're playing against him, because that guy puts up a ton of numbers. But that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. You will see a lot of new fantasy football content coming soon, along with my other series that I have going on my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.